Do not think that I have come to bring peace to earth. I have not come to bring peace at all, but sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, and a daughter in law against her mother in law. And a person's enemy will be those in his own household. We are already living in this reality. We know that the people we call our families and friends are usually the ones that hurt us the most. But then, Jesus saying that he has not come to bring peace, rather, conflicts, is a very controversial statement. The same person that severally in different chapters and verses of the Bible has said that peace he gives us and peace he lives with us. All of a sudden saying that he has come for conflicts and war and not for peace. Should we hear negative things from God? He's here to jam people's head together. I mean, just think about it, because when we relate to these Bible stories from afar, it looks like something happening in a strange land. But bring it down to yourself, to present reality. You know, you can imagine dressing up with your family and going to church on a Sunday, and your pastor climbs the pulpit and begins to tell you that he is a man of war. He has come to jam families' heads together. He has come to bring wife and husband's head together. He has come to cause chaos in the community or to cause problems amongst brothers and sisters. How would you take it? How would you digest it? What excuses can you make for your pastor? Think about this present generation where everybody turns on cell phone at every public gathering, and everybody automatically became bloggers in recent times. And then there are live broadcasts, and as your pastor was making these statements, people are watching it live. Many people took it to different parts of the world, quotes him whichever way they understood. This is really a very controversial statement coming from Jesus Christ. What I understood Jesus was trying to talk about is the fact that when you become a true believer, you know, your family and some of your friends will become hostile to you, especially when you no longer accept to do the things you do together with them when you were not a believer. They will no longer include you in some plans, in some arrangements, in some stuff. So, and if you take this to heart, you will begin to nurture grievances against your family, against your friends. And in such a way, the gospel you believe in has put a sword in your family, right? I think this is what this is about. Jesus said that sometimes they will hate us and persecute us for believing in him, and even our family will turn against us and not spare us from being hated and persecuted. So maybe even disown and disinherit us. I am a testimony to all of this. I may not be ready to share everything I know or everything I have seen or everything I have experienced for the sake of decorum and decency. But believe me, many people are not in peace with their family and friends because of religious belief. There are some denominations you will join, and it will become a problem to you and your family. They will not be in support of you. They will not no longer want to associate with you, right? If, for example, you came from a Christian family and all of a sudden you decided to become a Muslim, can you imagine the kind of conflict this will cause you and your family? Or maybe all of you were Catholics or Pentecostals, and all of a sudden you decided to join maybe white garment. Take, for instance, you wake up and join a religious group that hinders you from maybe eating some certain meats or part of meats, or to eat certain animals, or to abstain from certain things that the family eats a lot. You can imagine the kind of conflict this will cause you. Or say your family uh, pray in a certain way and you join a religion that pray in a different kind of way. And your family is the type that has that tradition of praying together, maybe morning devotions, night devotion, grace before meal, grace after meal, stuff like that. So what's going to happen? Sometimes we downplay on these religious issues, and you see people for maybe marital reasons say that religion doesn't matter anymore, and then they get into things that will start creating problems for them instantly. So how do you manage this? You will no longer join your family in devotions, or when they make meals, you will not eat because you. So you have to think about all of this properly and carry your family along so that you will not end up losing your soul that you are trying to save. When you begin to create enmity or begin to have enmity and grievances with people that you live with, we know what this can lead to. So to me, this should be the cross you have to carry for standing for your faith and doing it in a very mature and literate manner and not causing nuisance. I have once witnessed a neighborhood where somebody suddenly joined a particular denomination, and then in a quiet estate, the person will wake up in the morning when the person knows that people living here, some work from home, some do shifts, some sleep in the morning, others sleep at night. People have different routines. And then you wake up very early in the morning and carry a microphone and begin to disturb the neighborhood in the name of preaching. What exactly are you trying to do? You are causing problems for yourself. Back then, people could correlate this to some extent. But the world where we live in right now has changed so much that one could even lose their lives for doing this kind of thing. Apart from risking being evicted from the premises, losing your accommodation, someone may really harm you intentionally for doing this. There are some extreme things that people do for the sake of religion that I don't really think is necessary. The worst part of this is the fact that their religious practice ends at that noise making. When you actually have something to do with these people one on one, in fact, you may curse God because their personal conduct says nothing about the Christ they profess. So people no longer take them seriously. You can also imagine a scenario where you enter public transport and somebody begins to, discomfort everybody with smelling breath in the name of preaching the gospel. And at the end of the day, the person preaching may end up stealing something from you because you share seat with them. They may end up pilfering your cell phone. We know some of the excesses. Christianity is more of a practical thing than theory. I no longer listen to people that talk a lot, that tell me this about them, hey, I am this. I don't take them seriously because 95% of the times, the things they say about themselves are not true. So I'll rather observe you, I'll rather draw my own conclusions, right, from the things I see you do and say. After all, Christians were first called Christians because they were behaving like Christ, not because they were talking like Christ. They were Christ like. You cannot throw away all your morality, all your decency, and be making noise on your cell phone, posting where you are speaking in tongues. Whereas people that know you one on one, or where you live and the way you carry yourself, every other thing you do aside in the church or aside when you are professing or saying whatever you are telling us about yourself is quite different. How do we put these different lifestyles of you? How do we weigh them? See you on the next one.